Okay, we should be live. Hello, everyone. We continue.
Hello.
Yeah, we continue vibe hacking Postgres. Andrey is here as usual, main hacker on these sessions, and we don't have Kirk today because he has some deployments going on in his main job, right? So yeah, best wishes to him for smooth deployments. I know it was long time took to prepare it, so I hope everything will be fine. And we have a guest today, Dmitry Fomin, who joined us to present some patch proposal, right? And with help from Andrey, I hope it will be cooked a little bit more to be ready to be presented in mailing list, right? So thank you, Dmitry, for joining. Can you please explain what we are going to do? And actually, history of the patch, right?
Yeah, the problem behind. So first of all, many thanks for this opportunity to work. It's my very first patch. So, and I'm really do appreciate the opportunity to get the feedback from real hacker. And the problem that I want to address with this patch is following. We have a cluster. It's a real production problem. We have a Postgres cluster with a few replicas. One of the replicas is synchronous, and the rest are async. And we start, noticing that we have latency spikes. And after investigation, we understood that it's caused by the sync rep wait events. Basically, it means that the primary is waiting for confirmation from synchronous replica that the commit message is acknowledged. We work in a remote write mode. It means that expected only write to the memory on the replica side, not the flash on disk, not apply, nothing else, just put in memory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the key moment of in synchronous commit equals remote write. This is the weakest, right?
It's the weakest level in Postgres.
There is remote apply, the strongest, and there is what should be called remote flash, but it's called on, not remote flash, right? Due to historical reasons, right?
Yeah, exactly. Can be confusing, but
I would create a patch to introduce a synonym remote flash separately, just because it's always confusing to me to memorize that what on means, right? But it's a separate story, I guess. I don't know, Andrey, what do you think about this strange naming?
I think that it was only on, and then someone decided to add a few more levels.
Historical reasons.
Well, there is some naming problems. If there is a function pg receive lsn, which actually returns you flashed lsn.
Yes.
For no reason.
Yes.
But that's how things works, and we don't have any means to name it correctly now. So we'll have to live with it.
Somebody should say, let's break things a little bit and deprecate some name, for example, and introduce new names or something like this. I think it's like refactoring is possible, but it's all super confusing. Well, you mentioned another super confusing thing. I think Dmitry was the first who told me about this. It's super confusing, yeah. So
I think no any hacker will agree to commit. No any committer will commit any patch that can lose 1 byte of users' data. So it's with us forever.
Okay, I'm not sure I understand.
So we will not break compatibility with old clusters, like never.
Okay, but new names can be introduced because you said not only like the name is confusing, basically it's the wrong name, right, or function, but also we lack ability to see LSN writes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for writes. So yeah, there is a lack of something here, and this should be just like fixed, right?
Yeah, lack of something, but its name is already taken. So
Well,
something.
it can be so, but name says receive.
Mm-hmm.
But it's about writes, right? Or flash. Or I lost. I'm lost. I always memorize something, but yeah, I forget very quickly. So it's something that when you touch it, you need to go to docs and source code to understand.
It's not what we are going to hack on today.
Anyway, yeah, sorry, it's off topic. So sorry, Dmitry, back to you.
Yeah, that's quite important that remote write does not guarantee flash on disk. I mean, it's clearly set in documentation. And it was a kind of surprise for us when after few iterations of investigation, we realized that the problem is latency deviations on the fdata sync calls. And we realized that val receiver, even remote write, does many fdata sync calls. And sometimes one of these fdata sync calls is slow. It's a very different topic why, but it's problem with the underlying storage system. But anyway, so instead of sub-millisecond regular latency, it can jump up to 40 milliseconds. It's quite rare, but still single slow fdata sync call makes the entire val receiver process stuck. It's waiting for this fdata sync call ends. And once it's stuck, it cannot process incoming traffic from primary, meaning it cannot send the acknowledge package to the primary, and it means the primary cannot, progress with the commits and so on. I don't want to go to the, how this queue on the primary works, but in general, it means that one slow fdata sync call on a replica can cause really amplified problem on the primary, and the big number of backends start waiting. It means that all backends start waiting, and the latency increased really.
And what's the name of the wait event once again?
It's syncrep IPC.
IPC syncrep.
Yeah, and so further we starting investigating why even in remote write mode, val receiver needs to do fdata sync calls. Okay, one of the idea was that it's because when we switch the segments, but in reality it's not. So we will see it in the code that how it works in the cycle. The val receiver even in remote write mode, once it received the portion of change vectors from the primary, from the socket, it acknowledges this, send it to the primary, and after that it flashes on the disk in order to ping the apply process. So there is a new portion of val data, so that you need to process. Means that we received something, we acknowledge it, send it to primary, flash on the disk with fdata sync call. So it means after every receive operation, it flashes on the disk with fdata sync call. So and it costs lead to really a lot of fdata sync calls on the busy clusters. And idea of the patch, not to do it in a remote write mode, not to do it every time, but do it once we collected some amount of val, like 1 megabyte or less, and 500 kilobytes or something like that. Or if we do not have enough traffic, we have a timeout. So either we cross the threshold for the amount of received val data, or we, I mean, didn't flash for a while, so some timeout. So I put, I mean.
So does this make synchronous replication less synchronous?
Well, so it's totally different topic, very interesting. So Kukushkin made, I mean, really great talk recently
Right.
about the myth and truth and not truth about the synchronous replication. So I really encourage people to listen to it.
I will put it to chat and maybe description comments, so those who watch us can watch it as well. Then, yeah, it's great talk.
Yes, if summarize, so synchronous commit make you think that it prevents replica lag and data loss. In reality, it does not. In some kinder edge cases, but still the synchronous commit does not mean no replica lag and does not mean data loss. And there would be some even more interesting the edge, how to say it, gotchas, like, okay, I would say, I definitely think it should be, known by everybody who uses the Postgres. So because it's also involves this sync rep. What would happen, for example, we have a writing query, make a commit, and let's say we have isolated replica for some reason, I don't know, some network problem. We make a commit, and by this moment, commit is made locally, so it's written to the val disk, to the vals, and it's committed on the local Postgres on the primary. But the query itself does not get, still didn't get the confirmation that commit confirmed. It's waiting, and it's waiting in sync rep wait event. And if we have, for example, the statement timeout, let's say 1 second, and if we didn't get the confirmation from the replica that the commit was acknowledged, statement is canceled. The user will get no writes, but in reality,
this
primary
commit
has this commit.
Yeah.
And if we will solve the problem with network by that moment, so yes, replica will catch up and get this commit. But if not, for example, we have isolated primary and we decide not to run it, so not to use it, switch to that replica. So we will have different. So
so I call it data unloss.
So
because we think it's lost, but it's not lost.
Yeah, if you start thinking about you understood, probably you can understand that probably it's kind of logic. So how it works, and so there are really good Frank Pashot, I think, article about this how about the synchronous commit and so on. I also can send a link. It's a slightly different topic about Cytos, but still, it's really important to understand that the synchronous replication does not mean the no data loss.
Yeah. So let's I don't know. Let's dive to the code probably. What do you think? Yeah. Let's leave it as a separate question, like the scope of when we should apply this, but yeah. So basically, a synchronous replication is not synchronous replication right now anyway.
It's for some edge cases. It
mostly works. Yes. Right. But
and these edge cases are really infrequent.
You observe a lot of clusters with synchronous replication, right, Andrey?
And actually, fix for this particular problem is committed to Azure Postgres to
Yes.
AWS RDS and many,
Yes.
many others.
Why not in core Postgres? This is so strange.
It's a topic for another hacking session.
Another
It's
session. Yeah,
very,
let's.
very lengthy.
Yeah.
But
Let's.
anyway, when we are delaying fsync on disk, we are not changing something in a way that is like cannot happen on its own. The delays, any process can sleep any amount of time, just in any line of code and between lines. And so when we are just delaying fsync, we leave the same guarantees in place. It's just a matter of performance that we can affect. And let's see how Dmitry is going to change it.
Good. Yeah, we have definitely some follow-up topics here. I'm curious about this topic now due to some reasons. So.
Okay, so let me share my screen. So can you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, idea is to introduce new parameters, that's flush after and flush after milliseconds. So the first one should set up this buffer. Let's call. Once it's full, we will flush on disk, and the second one is the timeout. So first in bytes, second in milliseconds. And so I tried to put it in comments, the idea, that's what I said. So it's how it's calculated. So for experienced hacker, it's obvious. For me, it was not obvious how this, how it works in Postgres when you can put value for some parameter and put the unit, like, I don't know, you can say that's 1 megabyte or 1,000 kilobytes and so on, and it will be translated to the correct numbers. So
I think it's in GAC-C,
yeah,
the place where you define it. There you can specify units.
yeah. So I think it's yes, and it should be in that patch as well. Yeah. So it's here.
Yeah. So here you define it kilobytes and units.
Yeah.
In milliseconds.
For timeout, yes, it's milliseconds. Should be.
Yeah, but kilobyte isn't it like minimum of a kilobyte, by the way? Default is kilobyte for this number of bytes that is skipped. Line 1 to 1. There is a default, minimum, and maximum.
1, 2, 1. Yeah, idea was have the so it's in kilobytes. So I wanted to make this 1 megabyte. Probably I failed. As the default value, minimum is 0, means the regular behavior that we have now. I mean, so like nothing changed. And the 16 megabytes as the maximum possible. It's kind of referring to the val segment size.
I think it's just in bytes. And the variable name is bytes too. So you specify kilobytes, and I don't know what it changed actually. But I may be wrong. Let's just a moment. I will check.
To be honest, I copied this logic from other like work mem stuff, and since it's that way. But I mean, anyway, so I'm doing it very first time with the help of Cursor. So
we forgot to mention elephant in the room. So when I expressed how good it is to do with Cursor a lot of stuff, that's when you decided to code it, right? Because you had idea for long, right? But
I
Cursor
have
enabled some prototype finally, right? So it's true web hacking here, although not only Cursor, right? So some manual work here.
yeah, to be honest, yes, I have plenty of ideas that were in my list of to do, but I mean, I was not
Blocked
brave.
by
I was not brave enough
yeah.
to go further. And yes, many thanks for
Yeah, so it's a case when Cursor unblocked you. It's good. This is what we try to advertise on this channel, like for some weeks already. Like guys, like let's try to code more, starting with Cursor, maybe. Yeah. So I wanted to emphasize this.
So perhaps then it must be correct. If AI choosing units, I doubt it would make small mistakes. Like it would be too human mistake. So probably you actually specified megabyte and 16 megabytes as a maximum.
Okay, I wanted to make this 1 megabyte and 16 megabytes. I tried to copy this logic from work mem. I mean, and that's why I put this that way. But I mean, I could be wrong. So that if you could, I don't know, cross-check, it would be really nice.
I think it. Well, numbers are a bit not what I expected. Like 1 megabyte flush every 1 megabyte. So
Yes.
if user configures this by default, and now synchronous replication that is on will wait for every megabyte to happen.
So not wait. It would not flush earlier than 1 megabyte or 200 milliseconds. So it's again the idea was to run faster, not to wait this flush on disk. So just
but if if the transaction is in synchronous commit on, it will wait in its issuing commit, and now it will waiting when standby has extra megabyte of wall, or timeout will happen.
You mean in a different mode, not remote write?
Yes. The thing is, synchronous commit can be configured for every single transaction. This is just another gag. And you can change it. And if you're using default synchronous commit on, then this default value is problematic. Any transaction, almost any transaction will wait 200 milliseconds.
Yeah, very true.
Oh, maybe we should disable it by default. I don't know. That happens with all the good stuff in Postgres. Like default shared buffers are small. Default settings for compression is PGLZ.
Auto vacuum settings.
Yes. All the good things you have to turn it on when you install Postgres. That's because you cannot recommend these settings for everyone. So there are some slight chances that it will break your workload, and that's why it should turn on.
Default should be good for small, tiny instances, right?
Default should be good for existing instances. Doesn't matter small or big for any existing instance.
But why should they, like, this is a question I think like years. Why should they be good for existing instances? For example, random page cost equals 4. It's for magnetic disks, not for SSD. Why do we care about existing instances? Existing instances already have Postgres installed. By default, they affect only future instances.
We want to upgrade old versions,
but during upgrade we bring So, I'm a king of off topics, so I shut myself down here.
Well, that's an interesting information for us. So for database for Postgres, like existing user is like more important than prospect user.
An existing user wants upgrades. Okay. Yes. I don't know. Okay. I'm annoyed how too conservative defaults are. So anyway, okay.
Yeah, I mean, also very true. And but could we probably make it in a different way to affect only remote write mode? I mean, to keep the remote flush or remote apply.
We on a wall receiver side, we even do not decode records. We just receive bytes, and we have no idea what pages are there, what records are there, what transactions are within these records, and what settings do they have. We just don't know it. We have to write to the disk. And basically that's it. The other idea that I have, it's very random and not actually related to, but no, it's related. We can have a flusher of wall running nearby with wall receiver. So it's constantly flushing
Yeah.
to whatever place it is.
It was the initial idea to take this logic away from val receiver because it's not his job at all. So his job just receive and confirm to the primary. So I received. Yeah, but I didn't find a way to do it properly. And so idea is to way more simple patch. But yeah, you're
If we can
totally
do fsync non-blocking fsync, do we have a non-blocking fsync? I don't think so. But
yeah,
if
you can.
if you can issue fsync and not wait for it, that would be like it looks like better design. And it's you don't need to configure it at all. So if you need flush. If you don't need flush, don't flush. No settings at all. But to implement this, if we don't have a system call that will flush all file, we have to have another process that runs in parallel with wall receiver. And it would be like wall flusher. One is just throwing bytes to wall buffers, and another is constantly flushing it. And this will unlock another idea that we can recover not from disk but from some region in the memory. Maybe it's already there.
Could you please elaborate a bit more?
So currently, wall receiver, when it receives next record, it's writing it to file, wall file on a disk, and nearby process, startup process, is reading this file. So they kind of exchange records on a file system. So data is crossing boundary with kernel space and back. We don't need this. We can just throw bytes to startup process. Hey, here's the next record. Recover it.
As far as understood, it's I could be wrong, but idea is that we flush it on disk. I mean, put it in val to guarantee that it's not lost in case of the power problem, and we need to recover the replica. Because if we do not put it on val and in a durable way, we cannot send it to the val apply process.
We can.
But then we will, can have situation when we have something in memory, probably even applied to the data files. But
apply it and sync it to some data page in a heap or index.
Yeah, but it's not
and
in
it's
val.
Still not in val. Yes,
yeah,
that's totally acceptable race condition. I think it's a structural change for Postgres that we are not going to hack on today.
Yeah, and speaking of non-blocking fsync, it should be a job for IO ring, right? No,
we don't have IO rights now. That would be awesome if we had, but
okay. It's a big change, I guess.
But
huge.
It could be, I mean, a totally separate process that the val receiver can send a signal. So just, I mean, make a flush and do not wait the signal back from that process. So, I mean, just he will do a flush, I mean, eventually. So, and that's it. But yeah, it's for me, it's a way bigger redesign.
Yeah, so to do something like that, we have to have a receive buffer that is in shared memory, that is visible to some extra wall flusher and visible to startup process. It's a bigger change, but we have AI. It's strong. No?
Should be.
Mm.
So what should we do now? I know this patch was also for Postgres 13, it's not for master, right? Branch.
Yeah, because I mean it's the version that I mean suffering from that problem. That's why
We have
I choose.
so options I see. We could try to rebase it using a cursor or somehow else, and also we could try to test it a little bit. Or what do you think? What should we do?
We can rebase it and send to hackers and
To
just
for discussion, right? So to see
for a discussion.
to get feedback. Yeah,
Yeah, and
good exercise, right?
it's good to raise the problem. Like currently, we have a super parallel and super optimized wall write path and super slow wall recover path. Its bytes are synchronously single-threadedly travel between processes and applied one by one and all that stuff, and it just
on single core. Yeah.
yes, and you have a very big server that is using one CPU.
Exactly. Well, I heard about some work which lasts 8 years. You told me, right? About parallel apply, but it's different story.
Yes, there is a patch about parallel wall recovery, but it's not parallel apply in a standby. It's parallel in a sense. Crash recovery will be parallel.
I thought it's for standbys.
And it doesn't work for standbys. No, you can't.
What a news. Okay. I thought 1 more year or 2 more years to celebrate 10 years.
One more decade.
But on the other hand, so it's not for synchronous. Okay, I guess
no,
many more years to get. Okay.
Well, actually, I think basically Dmitry's idea to optimize all receiver will help a lot to synchronous replication. It's a very good place to work on.
Let's rebase.
Biggest problem of current patch is actually that there are some design questions. There might be better design, but better design might be something for
for
future.
discussion. It should be okay for discussion, right? So
for discussion and for those who suffer from F data sinks in
sync-rep.
Yes.
By the way, I checked description, and as usual, Google likes me to point to Aurora documentation, but in this case, they have only one line. Unlike for other cases, when we have very good how-to style docs, here's just one line which original Postgres docs have. So it's like we are waiting for confirmation from remote server, and inside it there might be many stages, right? So this wait event, it's quite like big one, right? Because it would be great to have better granularity here and understand with what stage, but I guess it's not easy because it's remote server. So what's happening on that remote server, we don't know. Again, it's again off topic. I'm bringing
so let's try to rebase it. I think it should work fine in the sense that wall receiver was not super actively developed. It just there will be one problem that wall receive flushes now have 2 arguments, not 1, but I think I will just do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you can show this magic, it will be good education for me.
I mean, let me do it, or you.
Yeah,
Me.
please do. Yeah. So
Okay.
I will follow you.
Yeah. A moment. So now we have are we going to rebase it with the AI or just by hands? Which do you prefer?
Well, what's more comfortable for you? I guess the manual option,
Let's
right?
start with manual.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We also like just in case we like more than 40 minutes. We spend some time for discussion, so it's better to move faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here is the latest version of master branch. It's already 19.
Good.
I like this commit that happens every year. Let the hacking begin. And this year it's Joe's convey, Joe's commit. Great. So let's start with trying to just apply the patch. Let me see how it's named. Wall receiver. Okay, it's not a patch, it's a diff. It apply. Doesn't apply. Nothing applied. Okay. Let's see how many rejects do we get. Most of the patch was not applied. Okay, let's do it with AI. So basically everything is rejected. 100 lines out of 150 lines were rejected. How do we do it with AI? It literally nothing. So by hand, I would have to rewrite it from scratch. Let's try it with cursor. Okay. What's the name? I have a patch diff for Postgres 13 real time stable. I want to rebase it on That's it. That's the whole prompt, I think. Do you have any ideas what to add also? Any instructions? Just run.
Just fire. Shoot.
I only have idea to
Let's
update cursor because they release almost every day, and I know you every week. You have updated
Oh,
cursor every week,
I
but
updated yesterday actually, but
not enough, not frequent enough. Yeah.
we also can ask you to review the patch actually if it's uh rebasing it anyway. Most of files actually were moved. was moved to GAC tables C, so you cannot rebase changes in other file, well, automatically. I
It's
can
6 years of development, right? Yeah.
maybe I should tell it
Six
that
years. And just
file GAC C was mostly moved to GAC table C, if it helps. It's in queue.
now you cannot interrupt it. I mean, you can, but by default, you don't.
Okay,
Yeah,
let
yeah,
it
yeah.
work.
You need to
Let
run
it
it.
work.
Additionally, press in the like button like, to interrupt. So by default, you don't interrupt. I like interrupting, so I was.
One of 8 to-dos. Well, so it has broken work several stages and doing it makes sense. I would do something like that myself too. Interesting thing is that, like, with all this AI stuff, can we make it faster? I
Faster.
have no idea. Yeah, why it takes so much time?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Actually, it's.
computers are meant to be fast.
I think AI itself is quite fast. It's cursor opening and closing fast. I think it's not that fast. And also in this case, LLM is remote. If it was local, it would be much faster. But we are using Claude Sonnet 4 here. I don't know what can compete with it in terms of local free LLMs like Llama, right? It will be much weaker in terms of thinking, but much faster in terms of latencies, right? So we could try maybe to use Llama or something
I have
locally.
a very, very light laptop, which
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah, 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 yeah.
like it's
So
typewriter. It's not for computing actually.
yeah. Change. It's a good change that I now like now we have a plan checklist. It's good, I think. I might be like here. I would probably prefer confirming this plan before proceeding with it. You know, I guess it's possible to do it with prompts. So review plan and then proceed.
Okay, it's running compilation.
With dash J4, not 8.
Is it in some project
Well,
config or it was his decision?
I think it like on some of previous sessions, cursor used too much of my CPU and my laptop just stopped working with Wi-Fi.
Wow.
So it was kind of interruption on a session.
Yeah, I remember
It
that.
worked.
So 4 is better. And as we
I
know,
know if it's if
it listens to us, so it recognizes that we have a session again and decide to use only 4, right?
perhaps
I'm
so.
joking, but yeah, maybe it's listening, maybe no. It's not open source, so we cannot be sure.
Why it's running configuration again? Perhaps we can see already what it had changed while it's working. We can run git diff and see. Somewhat similar. Git diff. Wall receive with before. Let's see if different. So here is our original version, and so here might be. What am I doing? I just don't want to interrupt us. And actually, my laptop
Why?
is somewhat because it's working. Oh, okay. So I
Well,
want
maybe
to
it's working in the wrong direction.
It's
anyway.
compiling,
Yeah, compiling.
So here is the beta version.
You want two diffs, right?
By the way, there is a range diff for this, but let's not use it right now. It's complicated.
Mm.
I want to
Mhm.
see if it
Mhm.
has some graduations. So this part based correctly. This one is invented, I think.
Yeah, looks like something new.
AI.
But maybe it's necessary actually.
Hmm.
This function is not invented by AI, so it is necessary.
Can you send me both patches so I could also separately review, compare them with different AI?
Yes, just a moment. I will send you to Jerry. It's V4 and Z3.
Okay,
Interesting.
thank you.
I think it original spikes was not there. It was there. So most of uh, most of the patch looks correct. There is a new version, new thing that now we know why we are expecting to wake up in wall receiver, and it added logic on its own. I can't check now if it's correct because I'm not sure previous logic was 100% correct. But other parts of diff looks good. And I don't know what is it testing. Where's cursor? Cursor is still doing something. Perhaps check world. No, just check.
And try to make. I think it analyzes the console output that it got.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I
want to run.
Realized upload. Yeah.
I want to run
No, it's
clean
okay.
and make J12 silent. I want to see if there are warnings. Besides of this, I think the patch is
So interrupt and tell it.
I
Interrupt and tell it. Why not?
myself.
Like, just stop it and tell it. Okay.
Stop.
Okay. It feels
Let's
better, I
see
know.
if we have
But
compilation warnings.
if one day you will be comfortable to run things manually inside terminal, which is inside cursor, then you will be able to, like to select some piece of your terminal and ask questions or tell something to cursor with context. Unlike separate xterm or what is this? Terminal. Okay, regular. Why? By the way, why you don't use iterm 2? Iterm 2.
Because I can do things like this. I'm not changing a place one by one of a cursor, but I'm jumping with several words at once.
You can do the
iterm
same.
doesn't have it.
You can do it in iterm as well. It does, but you need to additionally configure it in settings. So
perhaps
I always
so.
do it. I Google how and fix it always. Yeah, but I understand it. Like jumping between words, it's
Yes, when I try to do the same, it just prints nonsense, and I do not understand why. Besides this, iterm is fine, and also there is visitor is good too, and I tried live with it for some time. Doesn't work for some reason.
By the way, my review with Cloudopus
Anyway.
4 is saying that it's good. The base was great. There is some. I will share it.
I want to see if there are warnings. I'm just waiting for a compare. Besides this, the patch is in a good shape. For discussion, not for a commit.
Okay. Wanted to share a review with you from Cursor, but they have internal server error. Yeah, so some SREs are busy with incidents right now, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I will share it with you as just text.
Let's see what's there in the diff. Maybe I can add some.
It found problem in version 3.
Notes.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yes.
it found problem in version 3 saying there is extra indentation, but it was not carried over to version 4. So, so problem fixed.
Oh. Well,
That's it. So everything else, it says without compilation, it says everything is fine.
Well, I'm mostly looking through this patch. I'm mostly worried by default of 1 megabyte looks a lot. I'm not sure. So in this path, we had flush unconditionally, but now there is a condition when we do not have flush at all. Like, is it correct?
So, I mean, if we didn't reach the threshold, so yes, we should not flush. That's the idea.
That's the reason of a patch. I see. So if we didn't enable this GAC, we just do flush of 0. I would slightly restructure this if. So if it's not engaged, okay, do not flush. For me, it's not super obvious how bytes and timeout are interacting together. So if we don't have end bytes, but timeout is there, we still flush it. Probably that's the active behavior. I see that this is only for purposes, this purging.
It's a kind of a safety net. So, I mean, if for some reason we went behind this max, so just flush.
It's indented like if no, if we are behind maximum, we are just e-logging. We are not flushing it. No, we are flushing anyway. I got how it works. So if we are triggered by this condition, we are flushing. Okay, understood. Looks correct to me. And this logic looks resemblant. Is it because we had two similar? No, it's another logic. I'm scrolling with the wrong scroller. Let's see. So here is a timeout path. To see it in Visual Studio. So if we have something, this line was added by cursor, and I'm not sure it's correct. It wasn't present in original patch. Let's see how the change looked in original patch. So if we are above timeout, call flush. Here we have some. I see. There is a table of timeouts, and it just added row in the table. Okay, looks correct. Well, it would be good if we could have some tests for this, but I cannot imagine how tests would work. But if test works correct, currently this patch is just enabling this feature by default. So if tests still work, probably everything is working. Uh,
You mean automated Postgres tests or something else?
yes, Postgres make check is already running with this stuff enabled by default. Why do we need original bytes? It's local variable.
Because I mean, it's a kind of a counter. Yeah.
It's just a saved version of n bytes before using n bytes for all writing. Okay, got it. And unflashed bytes is the new global variable. Unflashed bytes is introduced by this patch.
Yes, we need to keep
Maybe
some.
we already have something like that, but I don't see it here. It's right up to maybe I'm wrong. So here is the cycle where we are writing. Currently write. And how do we decide where to write? I see. So here we receive a pointer of previous write, and we are just continuing previous LSN by writing. So maybe it would be a little better if we could formulate it in not a global variable on flashed bytes, but a global variable of flashed LSN. And chances are that we already have this. No, we don't. Another thing that is worrying me a bit is that it shouldn't happen, but if these messages of file requests do not come in order, then we can mess up with this. That's why I'm thinking about unflashed LSN instead of unflashed bytes. But this is just a suggestion to look how we use these LSNs here. Here we are sending statistics. No, not here. Here we are sending reply.
What are you trying to do right now?
I'm trying to understand that we have a flash pointer, and we actually have flash pointer log string flash. So now we have a local variable on flashed bytes, and also we have a global variable flash for flash pointer. Maybe we can somehow reuse this flash. So now this pointer is not in agreement with what's actually flashed. That's what is worrying me.
Why? Because I think we just keep bytes not flushed, and once it's flushing, it use the same function, and it should progress the flush pointer. No? We flushing with the same way as we did, before patch.
True, that's true. So this flash pointer, how it is updated? It is updated here in receive flash. So you modify it when we call this function and made this function updating flashed bytes. You can compute on flash bytes by subtracting flash minus write. So essentially, you don't need this global variable.
Okay, yeah,
You can just calculate it out of these two variables. There for this exact reason. Just reuse them. They are in agreement now because you update it the same way as you update your variable in the same way as these variables are updated. But you can make your patch a little smaller by not using this global variable and reusing these two pre-existing variables. Well, at least I found something with nice. We can ask,
I'm not
LLM.
useless. You're not useless.
Yes, I still can do something on top of LLM analysis.
Right. Yeah.
Let's ask what it thinks. Here is cursor. There are variables, and can we use them instead of on flushed bytes? What do you think? I hope it won't take half an hour, Gene. I would expect just one word, like 2 words. Okay, use it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we need to think first. And it's really strange because we chose Cloud Force Net. There is also Cloud Force Net thinking mode, but we chose not thinking mode, but it's still thinking. This is strange.
In Postgres, it's a bad idea to avoid syncing. And they are modifying these lines of code. You have to sync.
Yeah. Did you ask to change something, or you just asked to?
No, I asked it
something?
to see to analyze, but it's starting to just do.
This is concerns me all the time. Yeah, that's why when I ask to analyze it, I like explicitly say don't do anything yet. Otherwise, this is what's happening. So it rushes to actions.
Exactly, I have the same in prompt. So do not do any
Yeah.
changes without my explicit confirmation.
Yeah. By the way, I just learned how to easily create additional rules. If you press slash, you can add rules. There's a like slash comments. So you can choose a comment to add some rule, and then you can commit it. Or okay, we cannot commit cursor rules to Postgres, unfortunately. I would stop it before makes too many changes.
No.
Oops, so we have connection issues. Yeah, some connections issues. You're breaking up, Andrey. We are losing Andrey again. So cursor decided to change too many things at once.
Yeah, and disconnecting.
Loading laptop or something like this. Oops.
I Do you still hear me?
Yeah, now we can. So, and I mean, perfectly see your screen.
I just stopped cursor.
Oh, nice.
And then this is back. So let's see.
Also, by the way, on my side, I updated course. Okay, I updated cursor on my side. I have several windows open, and I noticed my video is lagging since I updated it. So I guess this release is not good. Maybe.
I want to build it.
It's loading CPU a lot.
With the changes introduced by last prompt or not?
I don't know. So something had changed. Now we don't have unflushed. Like we don't have variable for unflushed data. But I'm not sure it looks like it still compiles, so it's kind of a good new version, like V5. Let me send you both. I don't know. Oh, we can just see the difference with our eyes. Open with text and open with sample text. So one is 200 lines, 179, and the other is 10 lines shorter. Not sure it's sufficiently better. I see
It's
63.
version 3, yeah.
Must be 5. Here is version 5. It's longer. It's 10 lines longer. I think maybe it's added some comments or so. He didn't reduce it a function. That's why it's longer. Not sure it will better, but let's see how it's used. Okay, in every place it just uses this function. Can't say if it's a good addition or not, but probably now we don't have a footprint on flush function. Yeah.
Yeah, I think compiler
So
would anyway inline it, I think.
yes, I'm mostly worried by readability. So someone who is trying to understand how the stuff is working.
Yeah.
I don't think you can have write ahead of flush ahead of write. I don't know why it's worried by this, but it is for some reason. Okay, so let me send you v5. Do we have like what to do next? What's our plan?
Maybe you can share some wisdom on how to present it to PGSQL hackers mailing list. Just send it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Describe a problem, describe a solution, attach a patch, and send it. And you can add a line that it's your first patch, but not necessary to do so. You can just send it. And one thing that I would recommend, also add a lengthy commit message. So now we have
which commit message?
So now we have some changed files, git commit, and right here like invent two new ducks for wall is here. We can spend a lot of time in fdata sync to avoid doing so. We can do not. I'm actually bad at writing English commit messages, but that's important part of Apache.
Yeah, we can use AI to write them, but we need, like, it's a good idea to take some Andrey's, to pick up Andrey's brain to what should it include. So this is helpful, I think, right? No.
Let's just discard this commit message and ask AI. I'm sure it will be better.
Yeah, well, it's good, but you need to control it. And I always try to say, like, use fewer words, because otherwise it will write you a whole essay about what we did, and it might miss some important points. So it's better to use both human and AI for this. I'm writing from my experience because Tom Lane didn't change anything from that commit message I created in
Do you
January.
like my prompt? Does it look like I'm real AI vibe coder?
I would remove please. It doesn't change things at all. Okay. So yeah, and we need to squash commits, right? We have multiple commits, or
no, we don't have commits. We didn't commit anything, just changes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. And then we can ask prepare patch file, and that's it, right? Or you want to prepare patch with your hands?
No, I'm better. It will start running tests that they will overheat my computer, and there will be some problems and all.
Again, you can adjust behavior, like just press / choose. Let's create rule, and you can say do this, don't do this, and yeah, there's add generate cursor rules, and then you can say create a rule which will do this, and it will create a rule for itself, and next time it will do something, it will take your advice into account. don't overheat my computer, you can say. Unless asked directly, right? Explicitly. So yeah. 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 Next thing it will create tests.
It's
But
why it's thinking? What is it doing?
what yeah, generating something. There's some lag. Maybe the lag can be on Claude's side. We know there are issues. Claude has issues yesterday. Anthropic has issues yesterday. Had issues. They have it today. I've got 500 internal server error already. So there is some problems. There are some problems on their side. And I think, yeah, we depend on them. So this is
We can write commit message on our own.
yes. Anyway, this is advice. Like I think Dmitry can do this on his own offline, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
Good
do
way.
it like here goes
Commit
commit
message.
caption. Here goes commit
Details. Yeah.
change summary. And then git format patch 1 patch version 5. I will send you this file.
Yeah, fantastic.
Good. I guess that's it, right? For this. Andrey, thank you so much. It was good masterclass.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And I wanted to finish on this note. We know not a lot of people watch us, but those who do and reach this point of the end of this session, I'm pretty sure some people also think about some great ideas and want to start coding, vibe hacking, or just hacking. And I invite, like, just reach out to us, and we can do the same. Like we can help polish and present. Can help. Andrey can help you present Apache and hackers. So yeah, let's do it, guys. Yeah. So yeah,
Thanks.
thank you so much. Have a great week. Until
Many
next time.
thanks.